Hello everybody, we're getting ready to do 3.10 part 2 of SAT Math Level 1. If you need PowerPoint so you can go through it at your own pace, or video that you can also go through it at your own pace, contact me here. Worksheets, tests, note-taking sheets, and solution PowerPoints, contact me here. 3.10, graphing in the XY plane. We got 34 points of notes. So get your note-taking sheet out. Guided practice is 64 points here. That is the worksheet at the end of this lesson here. It's on a video. Notebook, page 18. Writing an equation of a line in the y-coordinate of the point at which the line crosses the y-axis is called the y-intercept of the line. If you know the slope and the y-intercept, you can form its equation by here. Suppose you know the slope of the line is 2 and the line contains a point -1, 1. Since it is given that the slope is 2, the equation of the line will look like this. Because the line contains a point -1, 1, when x equals 1, y equals 1. So you just plug in here, you solve for b. Hence the equation of the line is y equals 2x. If you know that the line contains the points 4, 0, -1, 5, you can find this equation by first determining the slope of the line. If delta x represents the difference in the x-coordinates of the 2 points, and delta y stands for the differences in the y-coordinates of the points. Here you go. You have difference of y over difference of x, rise over run, and that would be how you would find out your slope. M equals 1, so you plug that in. X equals 4 up here. So you substitute in up here, 0 equals -4 plus b, b would equal 4. This will be the equation of the line that contains these points here. Write an equation of a line from its graph. So now to determine an equation from a graph. Horizontal side of right triangle, so you can form a right triangle by slope. You go down so many and over so many. So you have rise over run that way. Hence the slope of a line is delta y over delta x. Rise over run, 4 over 1 in this case here. Since m equals 4 and b equals 3, an equation of the line would be 4xy equals 3. So this will be your notebook here. Here's your rise over run. So you go up 4, you go over 4, up 4. So it has a positive slope here of 4. Y equals 4x plus 3. Here's a y-intercept. To figure out the slope of the line and this figure here, you're going down 3 and over 1 as a negative slope. So it's -3 over 1, so you got a negative slope of -3. Say 0, 6, so 0, 6 is your y, your b would be 6 up here, so it'll be y equals -3x plus 6. -3x plus 6 here. This is your right. You got a negative rise, and then you'll have a positive run. Then here is your y-intercept. In accompanying figure, line L passes through the origin at 2, 4, and through the origin N 2, 4 here. Line M not shown is perpendicular to line L at 2, 4. Say you got a line that's perpendicular here. Line M intersects the x-axis at which point? Slope of line L is 4 minus 0 over just 2 minus 0, so it'll be 2. Be a positive 2 slope. Since the slopes of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals, the slope m would be negative 1/2 x plus b. We know that much. And because the line m contains 0.24, the coordinates of this point must satisfy its equation. So we plug in here. We'll plug in 4 and then 2 here, and then we solve for b. So b would be 5 here. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. Line M intersects the x-axis where y equals 0, so we plug in 0 here. Negative 5 equals, we bring our 5 over here, negative 5 equals negative 1/2 x. So 10 would equal x in that case. So since M intersects the x-axis at 10, 0, the correct choice would be D. Line K, not shown, is perpendicular to line J. Here's line J. If the equation of line K is y equals px, what is the value of the constant p? Using the diagram in terms of the slope of J, we got to find the slope of J. We have these 2 points here to plug into our slope formula. So we have a negative slope, first of all, so we can go down 4 and then over 3. So we have a slope of negative 4/3. Negative 4/3. The negative inverse of this would be positive 3/4. So this would be the slope here of this is the line here, is perpendicular. So it'd be p equals 3/4 would be the slope. P4 here, y equals px. P represents the slope of line K, so p equals 3/4, greater than 3/4. Okay, so line P is graphed in the xy plane here. If line P is translated up 3 units and right 5 units, what is the slope? So of the resulting line, here's our choices here. First, find the slope of P by choosing 2 points, 2 and 4 and 5 and 0. So 2 and 4, wait a minute, 2 and 4 would be right here. So to figure our slope, here is our slope calculation. Here we have a negative 4/3 slope here for this line. Translating a line shifts all points lying the same distance, same direction. It will be parallel to the original line and its row have the same slope. Hence, the slope of the translated line will be negative 4/3. Systems of linear inequalities. So now we're going to get into linear inequalities. Consider the system that and that. The solution set here is the solution set for this inequality here. Boundary is y equals x plus 1 is a solid boundary. So there is that solution, and then the other solution is here, this dotted line here. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4, y equals x plus 1. But the other one was an imperfect inequality. Here is our solution here. You can also determine which of the 4 regions represent the solution to be right here. This is the overlap here. And then to test that, to test the solution there, we need to test a value within that. So we'll test 6, 2. When x equals 6, y equals 2, which will be in here, which lies in region 1. So we test that it works for this inequality here. When x equals 6 and y equals 2, 2 is less than or equal to 7. And then for this one, we plug in 6 and 2, and 2 is greater than or equal to negative 2. So it works. That was 3.10 part 2. And if you want the worksheet that goes with it, email me here, take a picture of it with your camera, and I'll go ahead and grade it for you if you send it back to me. Thank you